time trials are up next, and if you click your name first here, you will see on your page that there is a tab for time trials. Let's see it when it opens. And when you're a rookie, I don't think that you will see anything. You have a time trial rating here. This is probably not going to show much, but it's there. And time trial rating is based on the lap times you do when you do your time trial, and in comparison to other drivers' lap times in that time trial. I think haven't really paid that much attention to it, but I use the time trial to reach consistency, because in the time trial you have to do a certain amount of laps without going off track. And let's say you need to do 5 laps, and on the 4th lap you go off track, then you have to start all over again. So it makes you focus a little bit more. Another thing is that if you do many laps without any off tracks, that will increase your safety rating a tiny bit. It can be like a 0.04 every time trial you do. It's not by much, but at least it's something. Doing a time trial will, as I said, hone your skills a little bit and concentration. So I recommend you run them. It's one run every 6 minutes, and when you start one, you will have all the information you need about how many laps you're going to do, and what lap you're on, and so on, and how many more you need to do. So we will have a look at that. Here we are in the time trial session. It says time trial here up in front on the top, and you can see here next to it that it's a time trial 30 minutes long, and 5 clean laps is required. From the last build, you are not necessarily alone in the time trial. So again, it could be good to use the F3, or you just go for another one. You leave that one and go for an empty session if you want to. It's up to you. So when you are on the track here, you can use the F keys again. As I said, F3 if you have others on track. I usually use the F1, which is showing there now, and F1 tells you how much time is remaining of the session, and it also tells you what lap you're on and how many laps you have done without running off track or getting an off track or any kind of incident. So doing the time trials can be very educational. You have a little bit of pressure on you to get the 5 laps in. It can be a good preparation for the race. That you're also under a little bit of more stress. So you get used to handling that a little bit, even though it's not at all the same thing. At least it's something in the same direction. There is also time trial championship. I haven't paid much attention to that, since I only do this for practicing to be consistent. It's very common in the beginning that you do odd laps. You can be 3-4 seconds up and down from lap to lap, and in this case take the opportunity to run in a pace that is comfortable to you, and then try to keep the lap times similar. And that is also a good reason for using the tab key to get session versus session best lap, as I always use. So we'll see here now, you see at the bottom lap here it says still a current lap, which is the out lap of course. And see here the blinking of the first lap, 156 out lap, and I've done 1 out of 5 laps. So again, use speed that is comfortable to you. You don't have to break your personal best every lap. Now you will see that your lap time, I'm quite close to the previous lap. That wasn't a complete lap, of course, since it was the out lap, but you can see that I'm keeping pretty much the same pace. Of course, you don't have to slow down if you're making a good lap. But there you see. This was an off track, and now that will reset the counter of good laps. So therefore I can just as well restart and start over again, and it will start counting again from 0. So keep a good pace that you're comfortable with. Do a lot of time trials to reach consistency. It is good. If you're practicing a track, you can just as well do that in the time trial. If you're practicing to get the speed up using 5th gear or 5th and 4th gear, you can also do that in a time trial. It's good practice, and do 2 things at a time. So good luck with the practicing.